The Anxious Generation: How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness. Author, Jonathan Haidt. Year of publication, 2024. Published by Random House. This book is a compelling exploration of the alarming rise in mental health issues among adolescents, particularly anxiety and depression, that began in the early 2010s. The book delves into the societal changes that have contributed to this epidemic, focusing on how the transformation of childhood, primarily driven by technological advances and shifts in parenting styles, has had profound effects on the mental well-being of young people. Overview and structure. Haidt's book is organized into 4 main sections. The tidal wave. This section presents the alarming statistics that highlight the decline in adolescent mental health. Haidt meticulously examines data showing that rates of depression, anxiety, self-harm, and suicide have more than doubled since the early 2010s, marking a sharp departure from the relatively stable or improving trends of the previous decades. The decline of the play-based childhood. Haidt argues that one of the critical factors behind this mental health crisis is the decline of a play-based childhood. Starting in the 1980s, and accelerating in the 1990s, children's opportunities for unsupervised outdoor play diminished significantly. This shift was driven by increased parental fears, fueled by media coverage of rare but tragic events, despite overall improvements in public safety. Haidt explains that play is essential for childhood development, helping children build resilience, social skills, and the ability to manage risks. The loss of this vital component of childhood has left many young people ill-equipped to handle the challenges of life. The rise of the phone-based childhood. The next section explores how the advent of smartphones and social media has further exacerbated the situation. The early 2010s saw a massive increase in smartphone ownership among adolescents, coinciding with the rise of social media platforms like Instagram and Snapchat. Haidt details how these technologies have fundamentally altered the social lives of young people, leading to increased isolation, social comparison, and perfectionism. The book discusses how social media, particularly visual platforms, has had a more detrimental impact on girls, who are more likely to engage in harmful behaviors like self-harm and experience higher levels of anxiety and depression. Collective actions for better childhood. In the final section, Haidt offers a roadmap for reversing these troubling trends. He outlines practical steps that parents, educators, and policymakers can take to restore a healthier balance in the lives of young people. These include promoting more outdoor play, delaying the introduction of smartphones, and advocating for policy changes that protect children from the negative effects of social media. Key themes and insights. One of the central themes of the anxious generation is the concept of the Great Rewiring of Childhood. Haidt argues that the rapid technological and social changes that occurred in the 2010s effectively rewired the experiences of childhood in ways that have had unintended and often harmful consequences. He emphasizes that this rewiring was not merely a result of technology but was also driven by shifts in parenting practices and societal norms that increasingly prioritized safety and supervision at the expense of independence and play. Haidt's exploration of the differences in how social media affects boys and girls is particularly noteworthy. He explains that while boys tend to withdraw into video games and other online activities that can lead to isolation and underachievement, girls are more likely to use social media in ways that fuel anxiety and depression. The constant exposure to curated images and the pressure to present a perfect online persona contribute to a toxic environment that can be particularly damaging during the vulnerable adolescent years. Another critical insight from the book is Haidt's discussion of the collective action problems that have prevented society from addressing these issues more effectively. He argues that while individual parents and educators may recognize the dangers of smartphones and social media, they often feel powerless to act because of the broader societal context. For example, even if a parent wants to delay giving their child a smartphone, they may feel pressured to conform if all of their child's peers have one. Haidt suggests that collective action, such as community agreements to delay smartphone use or policy changes that raise the age for social media accounts, is essential to overcoming these challenges. Critique and reception. The Anxious Generation has been praised for its thorough research and compelling argumentation. Haidt's ability to synthesize complex data and present it in an accessible and engaging manner has been lauded by readers and critics alike. His background as a social psychologist and his previous work on related topics, such as the coddling of the American mind, lend credibility to his analysis and recommendations. However, some critics have argued that Haidt's focus on technology, particularly social media, may overshadow other important factors contributing to the rise in adolescent mental health issues. For instance, economic inequality, academic pressures, and changes in family dynamics are also significant stressors that may not receive as much attention in the book. Additionally, while Haidt's recommendations are practical and well-intentioned, implementing them on a large scale may prove challenging in a society deeply embedded in technological reliance. Conclusion: in The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt provides a thought-provoking and urgent examination of the factors contributing to the rise in adolescent mental health issues. By focusing on the transformation of childhood and the impact of smartphones and social media, Haidt offers a compelling narrative that resonates with parents, educators, and policymakers. His call for collective action is a powerful reminder that while the challenges are significant, they are not insurmountable. With the right strategies and a concerted effort, it is possible to create a healthier and more balanced environment for the next generation. This book is an essential read for anyone concerned about the well-being of young people in the digital age. It offers not only a diagnosis of the problem but also a hopeful vision for the future, where children can reclaim the joys and benefits of a play-based, connected, and mentally healthy childhood. The end.